Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Vanessa Cabrera here, and it's been a minute. What's going on, guys? I feel like I always say that when I'm going live, but it has actually been a minute. I've been kind of going through some stuff, all positive, but I won't let you guys into that today. That's another live stream all together. So But the other reason I've kind of been MIA is I've been busy just working with my clients, the implementers, man. They have been kicking ass and taking names, as you guys will soon find out from today's episode. The other thing is, I take July off. That's how I roll. And I decided this year to take my month vacation a little earlier this year. So I actually started like in mid June. So I actually haven't been working. I've kind of been like bumming around and just really focusing on the implementers right now. So if you guys are joining us live, show us some love. Let us know that you're watching, where you guys are watching from. Go ahead and let us know in the comments. All right, so let's get into it. So today I am beyond psyched for this episode because I get to interview one of my clients. This is one of my favorite things to do when I go live, right? So today, I'm going to introduce you to a badass woman. There's a reason why I attract the women I do, and this one is no different. So I want you guys to take a minute, right? And I want you guys to imagine finally being able to land dream clients easily and effortlessly by just showing up online as just you, right? Who you are. I want you to imagine finally hearing those resounding words of, yes, I'm in, right? Over and over and over again. Cool? I also want you guys to imagine processing paid in full clients again and again and again, right? Imagine your bank account growing and growing. All these things that we've always wanted, right? But not really knowing how, right? How to get there. Well, that's exactly what happened for my client, Dr. Colleen Cira. She is the founder and executive director of the Cira Center for Behavioral Health and Cira Center Consulting. All right. So she's the ultimate badass. She just took a chance, right? A scary chance, as she's going to tell you all today. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Colleen. Hello,
Hey,
lady.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Happy to be here.
Yes, yes. All right. So before we get into it, Colleen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Dr. Colleen Cira. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. As Vanessa said, I'm also the founder and executive director of Cira Center for Behavioral Health and Cira Center Consulting. CCBH is my main gig. We are a large therapy group practice with locations in Oak Park and Chicago, where we serve the age and gender spectrum, but we specialize in women and trauma. That's my jam because I am a woman and I am a trauma survivor. And Cira Center Consulting is what Vanessa has helped me with, and this is my side gig, where I'm really working hard to help women, mothers specifically, to regulate their nervous system and just get control of their lives. And so that's what I really was really needing the help with.
So, um, so Colleen, when you came to me, she had this idea, right? She had this idea, and she has a phenomenal story. But before we get into that, I wanted you to tell people what was it that you were really struggling with. I know that you had this idea for your program for a while. You've been kind of sitting on it, right? I'll get to it, right? So tell people, what was it initially that you were struggling with when it came to launching your program, marketing it, all of that?
I didn't know how. I knew I had this idea and I didn't know the format that it should take. I didn't know how to reach my audience. I knew exactly where they were. I'm connected to a lot of burnt out mothers, and that's my target demographic. I am my target demographic, but I didn't know how to message it. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to connect with people and convince moms that they needed to spend time and money when they're probably feeling like they're lacking both to actually do something different and put themselves in a better position. And so I was really struggling with all of that. These big ideas that I know are going to fundamentally change and transform people's lives, but how to package it, how to market it, how to speak to my audience, how to get them to commit when they're already feeling overwhelmed. Those were all things that felt really, really tricky for me.
Okay. And so have you been thinking about this program for a while? So like you said, this is your side gig. Colleen has a very successful business that she's running, and the fact that she wanted to start another business was amazing to me because she's busy as hell. Let's just be honest, this girl jumped on a minute before we went live, giving me a heart attack.
I
I'm
did.
like, girl.
Oh, God.
And she's like,
I
I'm
don't know
here,
what's
I'm
going
here,
on.
hold up. She's powdering her nose, right? I was just like, it's all good. I'm like,
I got
let's
my
do
ring light out. Damn it. No time, man. No time.
it's all good. It's all good, right? And I was like, let's do your breathing exercise first, right? Because I watched those lives of yours, girl, right? That like, let's breathe. And she's like, okay, I'm breathing.
Oh, yes.
All
Good
right,
thing I
so
can now.
this is the kind of stuff that goes down before lives. Okay, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. It's not all like, yes, we're on it. No, no, no. There's a lot of crap that goes on behind the scenes. I think that's the best part, honestly. I think that's like the meat and potatoes of all this stuff. All right, so Colleen has a very successful business that she started. How long ago did you start it?
6 years this fall.
6 years this fall. Okay, and it's a multi-million-dollar business, or it's a
We're
$1 million business within
Yeah,
6 years.
we're $1 million business. Yeah, I started CCBH coming up on 6 years ago. And essentially, I wanted to do that, which has led into the program that you've helped me with. Because like I said, I'm a trauma survivor. So we focus on women specifically, but anyone female identified um, of any age who's just experienced adversity, stress, trauma. And that mission is just so close to my heart because I've experienced a lot of trauma. And not even the kinds of trauma that we talk a lot about. I feel like when we talk about trauma, we think about, I don't know, all the natural disasters happening around the country or a car accident or a one-time sexual assault. But there's so many different kinds of traumas that we don't talk about, like medical trauma. I'm a cancer survivor. Traumatic grief and loss. I lost one of my closest friends at the age of 15 because she died of cancer about a year after I recovered. Sexual trauma that's not rape. My first sexual experience was non-consensual and really traumatic, even though I wasn't raped. But we don't talk as much about that kind of sexual trauma. Household dysfunction. There's so much substance abuse and codependency and all of the other problematic dynamics that go with that in my family. And I have two loving parents who did the best that they could, and they are not active substance abusers, but those dynamics were still a part of our family and really messed things up in some big ways. So all of these things happened. That set me up for hardship when I became a parent. Um, a woman married to a man parenting two small children, right? And so it's all led to the burnout and the overwhelm that my program hopes to address.
Yeah. And so talk to us. And so is that the reason that you started your primary business is, what you went through within your life and seeing how you can help others?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I was saying, the information about different kinds of trauma isn't out there. It's not something we talk about as a society. So I wanted to do my part at the time to help people who've experienced trauma, to help them understand that what happened to them wasn't their fault, help them connect their current struggles with the things they experienced when they were growing up. And now I want to take that a step further. We can't necessarily prevent trauma that's already happened, of course.
Right.
But when we heal ourselves, when we heal our nervous system, when we're able to make those connections, then we show up in our lives differently, which means we are able to love, parent, work differently. And then with all that energy that we're not expending on toxic relationships or because we're always stressed out, we can go and change the world. And the world really needs to be fucking changed. There's like so much wrong with it, right? But
Yes, ma'am.
we can't do that when we're a mess or we're in relationships that are a mess. So that we need to get ourselves right so that we can go on and do all the things that need to be done that we want to do so that this world can become a better place for everybody.
Amazing. That's awesome. You're absolutely right. There's so much stuff that we can change. I have so many clients that's what they come to me. They're like, Vanessa, I feel like I can change the world. But if you're not right, how are you able to help anybody else? Right?
100%. Yeah, you
sure.
just don't have the energy. It's just such a struggle to get to the end of day. You know, I lived so much of my early days of parenting just like dragging one foot in front of the other to try to get to bedtime, which is a shitty way to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love my kids. My kids are wonderful and I love them and I love my partner. And it was a death march to bedtime every single day. Like,
Yeah.
that's a
I can
shitty
attest
way
that.
to go.
For sure. I know so many parents, and myself included, where we're just looking at the time. We keep looking at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, when's 8:30, when's 9 o'clock? Because you're done.
Uh-huh.
Like, you are just,
Then you're done.
there's days where I'm done. Like, I just can't, right?
Totally.
All right. So talk to us about your program. Where did this idea come from? First of all, I love the name. Tell the audience the name, and then tell people like where this idea came from, where the side hustle idea came from.
Yeah. So the program name is From Burnt Out to Badass. And again, the whole program is directed at mothers. But this first part of the program, the first module that Vanessa, you helped me launch, that's for anybody. And that's just working with nervous system regulation. So it's basically better understanding our stress response, how it's working for us, how it's working against us, and then what we can do to make it work for us more. So that's the program. And this part, I think, especially has been relevant for me in the last 15 months, basically since the pandemic started.
Right.
You know, I've been working on myself for a long ass time, like since I was 21. I'm like, things aren't right. So I was able to do a lot of good in that time, but the pandemic blew everything up, right?
Yeah.
Everything got blown up. And that was another wake-up call that a lot of stuff needed to change in my life, in my business, whatever. So I've spent the last, 16 months now, changing a lot of stuff, figuring out how I need to change personally. And when I change personally, it forces change upon everyone and everything around me and every system that I'm in, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've seen how between all the work I've been doing with clients in my business and all the personal work I've done throughout my life, but especially in these last 15 months, how much it's totally transformed my life. And I have more energy and I'm more joyous and I'm not so resentful of my partner and I'm able to enjoy my children more. And I was like, this is a message that needs to get out to other women and mothers, but to anyone.
Yeah.
In order to make their life not just manageable, but fun. Yeah.
Life can be fun? What?
I know, right?
What?
I'm still working on the fun part, but I'm more present, right? And joy can only happen when we're in the present.
Right.
And so getting regulated for me and like lots of other people is the first step toward being able to feel joy and have fun and do all these things that we want to do.
I think you hit a nerve and you're absolutely right. I mean, like, us moms, but anyone in general. We all have our shit that we got to deal with, right? Um, our non-Facebook, as like I call it, right? It's like we just put the good stuff that's on,
Yeah.
on social media and going here and going there and this happened to me and all that and vacations. And we all know that we all have different shit going on in our lives. No one really knows what's going on behind closed doors, and no one really posts that, right?
Right.
And I think, even before the pandemic, moms, parents, anyone, the stresses that we were going under, that we all have, we don't really know how to deal with it, right?
Right.
A lot of us are like too embarrassed or shamed, or I can handle it, to go talk to someone about it or seek some sort of help. But then when the pandemic hit, holy cow, you're absolutely right. Talk
Whole different
about the
ballgame.
stress level just, you know, coming to us like a freaking tsunami because no one saw it coming, right? And so talk
Right.
about burnt out, right? There's a difference of just like holding on to 9 o'clock. And I keep looking at the clock, like I have a clock here, but looking at the clock going, oh my gosh, when's bedtime? Before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic when we're all home with the kids 24/7, Lord help me, I don't know how many times I just like had to take a break or went my room and
Right.
cried or whatever the case may be because it was a lot, right? So I
Too much.
love the fact that you finally did something about this program because I think you've had this idea for a while, and so the
Yeah.
pandemic just kind of like amplified it, and you were like, okay, it's about time, right?
It's never been more needed, right? Like it's always been needed, and it's never been more needed than absolutely right now as we all try to recover from the last 16 months, right? Because there is no recovery when we're going through something difficult. Like
Yeah,
there is no consolidation, learning, growth. Like all that stuff happens post trauma. And
yeah.
we've all been in this collective trauma together. So now is the time where post traumatic growth is possible,
Hmm.
where we get to decide what our new normal looks like and how we're going to manage things differently. And we have a choice to never go back to that old way. It doesn't have to be a death march to the end of the day. We
I
can
love that
decide
Death March.
something
That is so
different.
on point, girl. That is so on point on so
How it
many days I
feels,
felt where
right?
I'm just like, I can't. Like, there's just days you don't want to play with a 5-year-old. They're,
No,
like I just can't. I'm like, just go to
no.
your tablet. Guilty, guilty mom. Go to your tablet. Go to the TV because I can't. I got no more today. Yeah.
100%. And especially during the pandemic when we didn't have when nobody had childcare because you
Hmm.
couldn't have anybody else in your home. So like tablets were babysitters, right? Yeah. It's just it was all too much. But we are coming out of it now. And we have a chance to really reevaluate things in this brand new way.
Yeah.
As the world redesigns itself, we too have the opportunity to redesign ourselves. And that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. I think it's interesting that, we all knew that we all went through this, right? I still look back and I'm like, did that really freaking happen? Like, it's just so mind blowing, right? And so a lot of us are coming out of it saying we made it, right? Like, we made it through somehow, some way, God willing that, your family's healthy and whatnot, which was like everyone's number one priority, right? But now, as I'm talking to you, Colleen, now thinking of like the post trauma that may be coming out of this past year and a half of this, of things that might be showing up. I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you. I'm just like, I made it. Cool. Let's keep marching. And who knows what kind of stuff is bubbling up on the stress that was put on all of us for the past year. So the fact that you were really brave enough to, how do I want to say this? Really brave enough to not only join the implementer, you join the implementer, and people come to me for social media strategies all the time. But really, the work, and as you know, we'll talk about this, is just you showing up as you. And so, let me tell y'all about Colleen when we started working together. She was just like, "Oh, let me think about it." And then within like the next day, I think she texted me. She's like, "Fuck it, I'm all in. If I don't do it now, it's never gonna happen." I'm like, "I dig this girl." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And so when we created her strategy, she was going to go live, and you hadn't really gone live on a regular basis. Is that right? On your,
No, I did
yeah,
a lot of videos, but
yeah,
pre-recorded videos that I would upload to my business platform. No, I didn't do lives.
yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, why don't we take it up a notch and why don't you try go live, right? So you guys know me. I push my clients a little out of their comfort zone. Um, my clients usually say, you shoved me out the window. No, no, no. I do it with love, okay? There's nothing but love here. But yeah, I push my clients out of their comfort zone. And Colleen she came just busting through her first live stream of how, and this is one of the things that struck me most, where you're like, okay, Vanessa, I'm going to go live. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, we worked on some fear issues, or what are people going to think, or, all of that stuff that we all think about when we're going live, or actually really putting ourselves out there on social media, whether to market our business, be vulnerable, tell the freaking truth, right? All of that can be challenging, right? Can be scary for a lot of people. Well, Colleen came out and like her first live stream told like her entire story. I was in amazement when I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's revealing all of this. I mean, it's an extremely powerful story um, of how you got started with your trauma, and you you tapped into it a little bit on this interview. I think you sidestepped a little bit, but it was unbelievably amazing. I'd never have a client have done that so strong, and just you were just so freaking honest, right? And I'm just like, this bitch is about to blow up. Just from that live stream, I'm like, holy cow! I mean, some of my past clients, it's taken weeks, months for them to have that kind of courage to be able to really tell their story. And the fact that you came out just guns blazing, I just needed to commend you for being so brave and so vulnerable, for doing that straight out, regardless of your business goals and all that. We'll talk about that soon. But um, how did you? How were you able to do that? Because I know a lot of my audience watching, they're like, well, how? Like, how? How do I get there? How do I muster up that courage to like really show up as myself? So how did you were able to show up so powerfully right out of the gate?
Well, that's funny because I feel like in therapy, a lot of the questions that I get from my clients are like, I'm so scared of this. How do I just get over my fear?
Yeah,
And the answer is always the same. You just do it. You just do it. And we can spend a lot of time talking about what that feels like. But you just do it. Right. So, but part of me being able to just do that is I know that vulnerability is my superpower.
ah,
There are some people that are like really funny and charming and love being the center of attention and command a crowd that way. Like that's not me. Me showing up authentically, honestly, transparently, vulnerably, that's my superpower. And so that doesn't mean it's not scary sometimes, but I just know that's how I built my business.
yeah,
So I've just been that enough to see it work time and time and time again. Where when I think it's easy to look at somebody and make all sorts of assumptions, because of how they look or how they dress or what they post on Facebook or whatever. And so for me to show up and say, no, I'm a hot mess, there's real power in that, right?
yeah.
And to be clear with you, I didn't intentionally sidestep anything in my story. So if there's something that I didn't share that you thought was powerful, I'm totally game for you to just say it. Um, I just
I don't think you said so. I think you just ran through it quickly. And then you're like,
got
okay,
it.
next. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's not coming from a place of protectiveness. My story is my why. My story is the reason that I get emotional thinking about it. My story is the reason that my that I created my business, that my business is successful, that I have every belief that this program is going to be successful because I built it for me. I built it for people who have the same kinds of struggles, that I do, and they don't have to. they don't have to match up 1-to-1, right? Like you don't have to have the same struggles as me for us to still get what struggle feels like, for us to profoundly understand how those struggles then continue to show up and fuck up lives, right? And so no, like my story is, I have no problem talking about that, because that's why everything works. Not because it's, I talk to you, Vanessa, all the time about like, I don't want to feel like salesy or like pitchy. And vulnerability is my answer to that. I don't have to have a pitch when I just get to, as you're always saying, like, just be who I am. And that includes not just like the shiny, successful exterior.
Right.
That's all the struggles along the way, right? Like, that's just the truth.
Yeah. I love the fact that you said that you created this program for you,
Yeah.
because that's a huge point when a lot of people are launching courses and, things like that. I really believe that every person on the planet has something valuable to share, right? And if it's through a course or a challenge or whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of people who do these online courses and just try to sell it to make money, and they've never even gone through their own damn program, right?
Sure.
They've never, and I'm just like, girl, how do you expect to market this and sell it if you haven't gone through it your damn self, right?
Totally.
That is so key for any of you guys who are watching, for marketing tips, whatnot. That's really like the bottom line. If you're not going through your own program to, number one, make sure, hello, it works.
Right.
Let's go there, right? Yeah, that you're delivering the benefits that you say are going to come from this, course, challenge, whatever the case may be. It ain't going to sell. It doesn't matter, right? Like I said, you can have the fanciest copywriters, you can have the best web designer. That don't mean jack shit if you don't go through your program, number one. And from that, knowing that it works, then comes belief.
Yes.
That's the belief. And that was the difference when you and I first spoke, where I was like, you were all in. You're like, people need this. I know it works, because you've gone through it yourself. You've taught it, right? Over and over, and you just wanted to provide this program. So talk to us about from burnt out to badass. What's it about?
So this is the first module of the program. And essentially it's, again, this idea that like most of us are living in a stress response, right? So that like that anxious or fearful or kind of irritable place where like, somebody cuts us off in traffic and we're like, fuck you. Cause we, like, we're just kind of edgy, right? And most of us live in that place, but we're not supposed to. Our bodies aren't designed to live there. Our bodies are designed to live in a more peaceful, connected, grounded place where we have compassion for ourselves, compassion for other people. We assume best intent. We're clear-headed. We have energy. That's where we're supposed to live, but we don't. And we don't for a lot of reasons, right? We don't because of this crazy world that we live in, especially in America. We don't because of things that we've experienced in our past, so that we're living in a stress response. And living in a stress response does all sorts of bad things. It gives us brain fog. It reduces our energy. It makes us grumpy, sad, anxious, irritable. But it also has takes a huge toll on our body. We have GI issues, headaches, chronic pain. It reduces our ability to fight off infection. So we might get sick a lot. All these things, right? So this 6-week program is designed to teach you about your stress response, teach you how it's showing up, how it shows up specifically for you, because it's universal. We all have a nervous system. We all have an autonomic nervous system, sympathetic activation. All of that is universal to human beings, but it shows up differently for you than it does for me, because our brain and body are trained and built around our lived experience, right? So I'm going to teach you how it's showing up for you. And then I'm going to teach you how to make it work for you rather than against you, because that was the original intent of the nervous system back in the good old days when we were running around from dinosaurs. The intent was to keep us safe. But now in a modern world, more often than not, it gets us in trouble. And so this is to teach you how to make it work for you rather than against you.
That's amazing because, like I said, all of us have stress, right? Each human being on the planet is going through our own shit, and no one has really taught us in life how to deal, right?
Right.
Like, exercise and, things like that. But a lot of people deal with stress in a very negative way, right? Because they just don't know how to deal. They don't ask for help. So they turn to the bottle, they turn to whatever, all kinds of vices, right? So the fact that Colleen can now teach you, right, all about stress, how to recognize it, have the tools, the real tools to deal with it in a healthy way, that's amazing. I think it's so, so needed, like we talked about today.
And
So,
it's so different. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, that's okay. Go ahead. Girl, you always interrupt
Um,
me. Go ahead. It's never changed. This was our sessions, by the way. Like I was
what'd
talking
you
to her,
say?
and then she jumped from something else. I'm like, Colleen, focused girl. It's quite all right.
I think one of the really important things about that differentiates this program is that like the only way we talk about dealing stress in society is like with coping skills or
Right.
self-care, um, which is different than this because coping skills are like you're in a terrible place, so you're going to go and like I don't know, do some deep breathing for a few minutes. And like that's going to help for a few minutes, but then you're going to keep living this crazy life
Mm-hmm.
where you continue to just where you need coping skills or vices and you touch a moment of groundedness or centeredness or peace, but then you just keep going like a crazy person.
Yeah.
That's coping skills. And like self-care is like you're in a pandemic for 15 months and you're a mother and you're like, oh, maybe I should get a night out after 15 months of stress.
Can you
Like
imagine
what?
that night out? Holy cow, I'd end up in Vegas somewhere.
Right. Well, that's what people are doing.
Yeah.
They're acting like this one weekend away or this one night where they get to focus on them is able to sustain them
Yeah.
for another year or something crazy. Like, no. Nervous system regulation. This program is going to teach people a lifestyle. This isn't a bunch of skills. This is a lifestyle. And I think that is what makes it different than any other like self-care program where it's
Yeah.
like, let me teach you some coping skills. It's like coping skills are great. They have a place. That is not what this is. This is a lifestyle. And that's really important for people to hear.
Wow. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so you touched upon the fact that, one of our sessions, when we were talking about your social media strategy, how you're going to launch this program, things like that. And you did touch upon quite a bit. You're like, and I remember this specifically, you're like, Vanessa, I don't want to come off salesy. I just hate it. She's like, I hate selling. She's told me that over and over again. And past clients have too, right? And
Right.
so talk to us about how you got over that hump of not feeling salesy, because a lot of people get stuck in that, right? Like they're fantastic that you go live, share your story, market it, but eventually you got to close, right? And so talk to us about how you got over that hump of not wanting to come off salesy and still being able to close, how you did your program.
I think there's a couple of things. I think one is detaching myself from the outcome, because if I focused on like I have to close, then that comes with like it naturally comes with a bunch of things that feel salesy, right? But if I show up with it, you and I talked about this, Vanessa, just this idea that like I'm here to help,
Yep.
right? And maybe you're in a place where you're ready for that help and maybe you're not, and like I have no attachment to that. Like I'm just here to help. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, I'm ready when you are. That really helped, detaching from the outcome. And of course what we know is that like when we detach from the outcome, when we're not chasing something, we're just like letting it happens more often. And so that's been really huge for me, is like I don't actually have to close. I just have to show up and be available and keep letting people, I'm here, I'm ready when you are. And that's been really helpful for me.
Yeah. I think slowly after that, the clients just started to come.
Yeah.
You're like, I get another one. I get another one. I'm like, You're like, yeah, you said like, I think it's easy now. Like, it's just, I think within the first week, It was crazy. I would think it was like in the first week. You're like, I think I have three, four down. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, she wanted five. I'm like, you're gonna sell your program like the first week, 2 weeks of or the second week, I think, is when you actually
Yeah.
launched
It
and
was,
started
I think it was
going
the second
visible.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And even just saying to people like, I'm not a salesperson. Like I've got no training in sales. Like I'm not here to sell you on this. So if you're really ambivalent about this, that's okay.
Hmm.
Uh, this will be my last email about it. Like let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
And like, I got one person then when I was like, I'm walking away. Like it seems like you may not be interested or you're really ambivalent, and that's okay. So let me know when you're ready. And the next day, I got a PayPal notification that they paid for the program.
I know. Isn't
So
it like stupid simple? Like people just get so wrapped up in like, I gotta close, I gotta close, I gotta close. And I'm like, you don't have to do jack. I think I told you this, like you don't have to do jack, but keep showing up as
keep
how you're
showing up.
showing up and the clients will come, right? They will come for sure. Um, so are there any other aha moments or takeaways from your experience going through the implementer? Any big learning points or anything that you want to share of someone that was struggling with what you once were struggling with when it came to marketing this program, launching a brand new program, right? The fears, the doubts. Can I do this? Are people going to buy, right? Anything else that you want the audience to know?
I mean, I think the biggest thing was just like was getting the help, right? Because like all when by the time I reached out to you, I'd been thinking about it for years. I'd been doing a lot of it in a less formal way for years. And then recently, I'd finally put together the entire program. I had all the content. I was just,
You did. Oh
I
my
didn't know
gosh.
how to move forward.
Yeah.
Um, and there were, I think, were a lot of things getting in the way. There was like the lack of commitment. There was the fear. There was the uncertainty about like, I'm not good at marketing. I don't know how to do that. Right. So like, Uh, so I, for me, it was just it was booking with you, which was not just booking with you. You've been incredibly helpful, but it was all the things that came with booking with you, right? It was like I'm saying like fuck it, I'm all in. I'm saying yep, I'm scared and I'm going to do it anyway. Yep, I don't know how and I don't want to take the time to figure it out, so I'm just asking somebody for help, right? It was all of those things that allowed it to happen, because I know if I had not booked with you or someone else like you, I'd be still in this same position.
Yeah.
uh, I've got all this stuff, but nothing's happening with it. And so that, I mean, that was the big thing. I just needed to give myself a kick in the pants.
Yeah. Well, a kick you got.
Yeah.
A kick you got. I want to tell you that I'm incredibly proud of you for facing your fears and going all in and doing it afraid, anyways, and reaching out for help, because that's really the bottom line of
Yeah.
all the success people want in their business and their personal life. I talk about this all the time. I too was struggling in my business for years, for about 4 years, trying to figure it out, right? Thinking I could do it by myself, right? I can
Right.
figure this out, just like, your clients. I could do this. I can work through it. I'm embarrassed to ask for help, right? I
Right.
should be able to figure this out. It's the dumbest thing you could have
It
ever
is.
done. It's a rookie mistake not to reach out to ask for help. And as soon as I asked for help in my own business and hired a coach, I mean, my business would not be where it is today. I'd still be struggling. I'd still be
Right.
struggling. So this is what I say over and over again. Whether you work with me or somebody else, just go get the help that you need, because you'll be sitting on it, right? You'll be sitting on
Mhm.
this for another week, another month, years, right? Before you do something. And time waits for no one, right? Time waits
Right.
for no one, right? All right. So, Colleen, can people still get in to from burnt out to a badass? Tell us the next round. What's going on?
Yeah, I barely, but yes. So we're in the first week, but nothing has really happened yet. We're still just getting people in the Facebook group. Everything happens from Facebook with this program. So we're still getting people in the Facebook group, waiting to hear from people as they introduce themselves. So in the next couple of days, we are going to be making some decisions about moving forward. And once that happens, I won't be accepting anybody for this first round. But between now and probably Friday, Saturday, I still have room for a few more people. But even if people don't make it into this round, my hope is that I'm going to run it this one round. This is my pilot round, which is why it's a big deal to have 5 full paying people. Because it's the first time I'm ever doing this in a really formal way. And so I'm hoping that I'll get lots of feedback, can tailor it, fine tune it, and then run it again. So, and just keep running it. So if you don't get in this round, there'll be more opportunities.
Awesome. Amazing, guys. So if you guys are interested, if anything that Colleen has talked about in this interview has resonated with you guys, if you are stressed, hello. If you say no, you're full of shit. Now, and just stuff to deal with. Know that there is help out there, right? And Colleen is one of those people. She's in it to help. She's not in it for the money. She's not in it for the glamour and all that, and the accolades and the likes and the followers. She's really in it to help people, which is why I wanted to work with her, which is the badass women that I do work with. It's got to be more than just about money with me. And Colleen is beyond talented. If you guys saw, I was marketing this interview all over the place and included her bio. She's an incredible badass. She's a professional. She knows what she's doing. She can absolutely help you. So make sure you guys befriend her here on Facebook. Send her a private message if you're interested in learning more about From Burnt Out to Badass. Is it Burnt Out to Badass Mamas? Is that the whole name?
I think it's just right now it's From Burnt Out to Badass.
Burnt Out to Badass.
Because I mean, one of the cool things that again came from you, Vanessa, is just by showing up, right? Like other people are interested. So I think I'm going to be running this with a group of teenagers. I think I'm going to be running this with a group of men. The whole program, the whole like 18-week program or whatever it is for mamas. But this specific program, it's for anybody.
Yeah.
We all use some help getting regulated.
For sure. Absolutely. Well, I have had an absolute blast, Colleen. You have inspired me throughout these entire 8 weeks working with you. I loved how powerfully you showed up online. I loved how vulnerable you were. I loved how honest you were in this interview when, you were struggling inside the implementer. The implementer is not, you guys, a smooth sailing program, right? Where I do these interviews with my clients and she sold out her program. She sold, she built her membership. There's real work that goes on in the implementer. And that's really for you to show up. And when everyone goes through struggles in their businesses, and Colleen was no different. Like she said, she's like, Vanessa, I hate selling. I can't do it. This is that. Or no one's bought yet. All that stuff that, we worked through together. And amazingly, she just kept showing up and showing up and showing up again. She took a break when she needed to, a tiny one. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Not right now. You could take a breather, but let's go. Monday morning, right? So it's been incredible 8 weeks and experience working with you, Colleen. You really did inspire me, and how you didn't quit, and how you absolutely were like, fuck it, I'm all in. And you absolutely were. So you should be very, very proud of the fact that you launched it, right? You launched this program that you've been sitting on for years. You have 5 people in it. Now you're going to do it for men, teenagers. It's amazing what happens when you show up. This is what happens when you show up online. All these other opportunities that you didn't even know existed shows up. This happens time and time and time again for my clients and for other people that I've seen online. So thank you very much, Colleen, for trusting me, right? And for working with me. And I will see you soon, my dear.
And thank you. I know we're signing off, but I'm so grateful, because like what I said, I think hiring you was the reason that all these other things happened, right? Not only the guidance and the accountability, but the commitment, like all of those things that would have just I think, quite frankly, impossible to do on my own. And so I'm really grateful, and a lot of people are going to benefit as a result. So thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, dear. All right. I will talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, guys. Another badass implementer, right? This is how we roll. If you guys are interested in becoming an implementer, I'm going to put the link in this live stream to book a time to chat with me. This is not a cookie cutter program. I've said it time and time again, right? I work with my clients based off of their business goals and their persona. As you guys can see from Colleen, she's an ultimate badass. And like a lot of my clients who come to me, they're scared. They don't know what to do. They've been sitting on this idea for years, right? Not knowing what to do, how to do it. And then within 4 weeks, look what she did. She finally launched her program, have people in the program. She's going to do amazing things in the world. She's going to help so many people in the world. And this is why I do what I do. I freaking love what I do because I get to work with people like Colleen, right? So if this interview resonated with you, if you're still sitting on that idea, if you have a business but you're struggling to land clients using social media, reach out to me. This is what I love to do, right? And I'm looking for my next case study, and that could be you. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging with us. If you guys have any questions about the implementer, please reach out to me via the link or send me a private message, and we'll chat. Yeah. Till next time. I'll see you guys online. Peace.